you mentioned vulnerability, and I want to talk about that because there's this preconception that men have you can't be vulnerable with a woman, and to an extent, I agree with them because some of the toxic IG models that I dated, this one happened in 2018. My dad had a heart attack, and this was on a Friday, but he was at the hospital. I went and visited him. I came back, and I was just out of it. And the girl I was dating says, "Hey, what are we gonna do tonight?" I'm like, "Babe, my dad just had a heart attack. You know what? I don't want to go out. I'm just out of it. Just come over, and just hug me. Your man needs his woman right now. Come over here and hug me right now. That's what I need." She goes, "No, I've had a hard ass week at work. Don't be selfish about that. What about me? I'm gonna go out with my friends. I'll come over later. I'll be there about 2:00." And I'm like, "Okay, you selfish bitch." I didn't tell her that. But I'm like, that's how people can be.
Of
yeah,
course.
she's beautiful. We look great in photos. She looks great naked, but when it comes down to the moments in life when you need somebody, that's what matters, and she wasn't there.
So,
and where was I going with this?
Being
vulnerable.
Yes.
Being vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay. You can. I feel you can be vulnerable with a woman once you've gotten to know her, but not up front. You can't be upfront and vulnerable with a woman and just be like the victim. I mean, you have to have a plan. Like for me, it took a while for me to be kind of like vulnerable with my girlfriend now, but even when I am, I have a plan behind it.
Right.
I'm not like running around like a victim. I'm like, "Oh, babe, this happened. You know what? But this is what I'm gonna do. What do you think? That sounds right, and just kind of collaborate with her. But being vulnerable is okay. You can cry in front of somebody that you've been with for a while, but right away, I wouldn't recommend it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think for men, again, it goes back to them having to earn everything that they a privilege in life. That's something they have to earn in a relationship, which sucks. It's not fair. Women are openly just vulnerable, and men are just, I don't know, again, critical thinkers, like, "Oh my God, she needs help. I'm going to save her. I want to help her." For men, unfortunately, they have to prove to women that they can be a provider, a savior, the man of the household, for him to be vulnerable. Because at that point, if he's checked off literally 9 out of 10 things, she's going to want to know, like, okay, like, is this man human? Which is, again, this is why I say my hat's off to men who actually do the work. And like, ignorance is bliss. Some of them just do it just because they accept that this is just part of it. They accept that this is what comes with wanting a woman in life. Because then they, like, I think things go back to like the Bible. Like, Adam wanted Eve. He got fucking bored and lonely. He asked God for a companion. Like, that's how it works. Like, no guy wants to be alone entirely. So, I think that men have accepted that, and that's what people get mad at the red pill. I'm not a hardcore red pill person because I think it's too extreme. But I do understand why men choose to go that dark route, because it's just kind of like, I've created such an empire. I couldn't explain to someone my darkest times. Your darkest times, you want to talk to somebody. By the time you created your entire status, that it's over with. The struggle's over with. Now you're here to reap what you fucking worked hard for. You're not gonna sit here and try to find one girl who's gonna understand for you when she wasn't there for you. And that's just realistic. I think a lot of people become very dark, and it's no one's fault. But like, a lot of people are just troubled nowadays. Like, single homes, again, you have to work really hard to be something, and these girls are so unrealistic with their standards. They're causing men to basically be bitter, dark, and choosing to have multiple girlfriends. Like Andrew Tate, he's choosing to do this because, like, the shit that he had to eat chicken out of a dumpster for God knows how long with his brother. No girl was there at that time. Yeah. Like, no one cared what he had to say. They made fun of him for being skinny and weird and all that stuff. Those things, like, men remember those things. They hold on to those things, and they don't forget that. Like, men, their loyalty is different than compared to women. And I'd have to say, like, I've watched that a lot happen with men, where it's not that they don't know how to love. They're just tired of giving it to the wrong person and then realizing it wasn't worth it. Like, if you give it to the wrong person, it's abused. Even if you meant well, it's abused. And same thing for women, it's abused. But it's like, for men, they had to work for it. For women, it was already given. We're just here to love. For men, you want me to provide and to love? Like, what do you want me to do here? It's harder for men in that way. So again, vulnerability I think is one of the worst things. It's one of my favorite weapons, honestly. I think it's a great weapon.
Okay.
I personally had to learn how to be vulnerable also, but I had to know when to use it. And I think that's me tapping into being a man. And I was able to use that because it was like, women are always vulnerable. And I kept it at like a high stake. And then I realized when to use it. And then that's why I think my relationship works out so well, because we kind of like match each other's energy in that way. And it works out because he realizes, like, she's not crying wolf. She's being serious right now. It's a serious problem. He knows that if I went to him with something, I tried to solve it and I couldn't. And now I'm asking him, and vice versa. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.